Okay, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, going to give you a little heads up on how the law works because a lot of people are not familiar with how the law works. We have a case where we knew that they were starting with the foreclosure, and so did not resent it. We received the notice of default. There are a couple of things that I'm going to explain to you about this notice of default. We received this February 8th, 2018. We immediately responded to it. When we weren't getting anywhere with the idiots, they weren't providing any of the information we asked for. They weren't communicating with us at all. We proceeded to file a lawsuit, common law lawsuit, in the federal district court, for which they accepted the common law filing, but then they sent it to another court that we had not given them permission to transfer it to any other jurisdiction, any other court. So we had them transfer it back under common law jurisdiction, authorizing one of their officers at that court to hear it under common law. They proceeded to hold on to the papers, hold on to the filings, hold on to the monies, all of that wonderful stuff. Okay, fine. Then the bank decided they were still going to sell the house, despite the fact that there's a lawsuit being filed and they're aware of it. So the lawsuit was filed finally in May of 2018. Then they sold the house in July while the lawsuit was pending. Yeah, I know, but this is what they do. So you guys need to be prepared and aware of that. When they sold the house, they then proceeded to go through foreclosure proceedings. But before they did that, we filed a state level case because the other case was filed in the federal court. We filed a state level case under the same premise, under the same statutes. It's just this was being filed on the state level for violation of state law. They proceed the very next day to go and file for foreclosure. What most people don't know is this is what's required in law, and so this is what we did. We filed a notice of related case when we filed the case in the state level, and we filed notice of related case when we responded to their junk being filed in a different jurisdiction. They failed to notify the court of the notice of related case. Now, the court has sat back, did what they were supposed to do, nothing, and then all of a sudden we're finding out that they're having hearings. You don't get to have hearings without notifying us. And what we did is we know that the clerks often say they mail things out to people, so we got a P.O. box to where everything coming to and from the P.O. box is logged. So in order for anyone to claim that we received something or didn't receive it, we have that P.O. box which documents, sends us, it's called a virtual P.O. box. It documents every piece of mail coming to that P.O. box, and I have it specifically because when you have a virtual P.O. box, they like to charge you for every copy they scan into the computer. So I make it a point, because you know how lawyers like to send you these big, huge documents, I make it a point to say no. Documents can be sent that are that way. Hold on one second. That you're not going to send me 8,000 pages of this and 5,000 pages of that and going to cost me the expense. Now it's okay because people say, well, you can't do that. Yes, we can. You know why we can do that? Because we can highlight that the court, when you're sending documents in electronically, they limit the amount of megabytes you get to transfer to the court via email. So if they can do it, we can do it. And we do. Okay, so now that we got that taken care of, I am making some French toast, and I am a little distracted because this morning, my French toast, I'm going to enjoy it. That's right, I'm just going to enjoy it. What we want to show you guys, just wanted to let you know about the related case. Every state has a related case issue. So all you have to do is just type in related case, pull up the code for related case, if you're going to do things the way I did it. Again, we knew that they were going to come our way, and so our job was to sit up here and be prepared for them. That's why before they filed the lawsuit, we filed our lawsuit. We did ours in federal court, not state court first. Why? Because we were bringing up federal issues. Then, when we knew that they sold the property, we proceeded to file a state level lawsuit for violation of the law. Because, see, now that there is a pending action, that's our response to the notice of default. You can't move any further. Don't look any further. Well, they decided that they were going to move. So then they filed their notice of foreclosure, eviction, and all of that stuff, unlawful detainer, in the state court. So we notified the state court immediately. And then we put in our objections and even our motion to dismiss. They ignored it. Well, what the state court proceeded to do was the state court went and scheduled a hearing 2.5 months ago without telling us. Never mailed out a notice that there was a hearing, never mailed out a notice that there was a judgment, never sent anything. The P.O. Box documents, not a single letter sent from the court. Could the attorneys have sent it? No, because when they made their determination, no letters have been received from any of them from that date until the current date. So no one has ever notified us, but it's on the docket. Got the P.O. Box purposely so that we could document that these idiots don't send you notification like the law requires. Now, that's all taken care of. What I wanted to show you was this. We just did a video showing you these 2 paragraphs, but then I had to highlight something. Pay attention. It says you and your beneficiary or mortgagee may mutually agree in writing prior. See, a separate writing other than the note and the mortgage. Then it says here again, obligation being foreclosed upon or a separate written agreement between you and the creditor. Ladies and gentlemen, our contract constitutes a separate written agreement. So no one can challenge that there is a separate written agreement between the parties. Okay? No one can challenge that. See, this one says that you provide reliable written evidence that you paid all senior liens. That's regarding whether or not you paid. Please understand, everything that we are telling you regarding the contract, we're showing you the law, which provides and permits it to be done. We're not doing it because we're saying we feel like it. We're doing it because the law says we can. Okay? We are going to abide by the law. We're not going to circumvent the law. Yes, we're going to use loopholes because that's why the loopholes are there, to be utilized. Congress purposely places loopholes in the law on purpose. It is not a mistake. So we're going to utilize those loopholes. You should be utilizing those loopholes. You know the process. Do the contract, send it to your bank, get into a contractual agreement with them, give them the days. If they don't respond, the contract automatically says they acquiesce. And if they don't respond, they're above the age of 18. They're not incompetent. They're not a minor. They're not disability with the mind. You know, their mind is so disabled. They are not suffering from a mental disease and or defect, which would impair their ability to enter into a contract. They're consenting adults with the capability and ability of suing and being sued. And you're wondering about the government. How can you enter into a contract with the government? Because the government, when they're operating from the EIN number, that's an employer identification number, they're operating as a corporation. All corporations in the United States agree to sue and be sued. There is no such thing as a sovereign corporation, because if they were a sovereign corporation, they would not be allowed to engage in commerce. And none of the agencies of the government would ever agree to such a thing. Not the executive branch, not the judicial branch, they would never agree to such a thing. So they're always going to let themselves engage in commerce because they're greedy. They want the money. You have to be able to express to them and explain to them, hey, as long as you're engaging in commerce, understand this, you can't do nothing. You gonna put yourself in a position to where you're gonna be sued, and I'm gonna sue you. So they are allowed to enter into contract. It's the contract clause. And so we are taking advantage of the contract clause, the same as they take advantage of the contract clause with us. Remember, New Hampshire pointed it out to all of you guys. It's called the corporate offer to contract. They're doing this 24 hours a day. So as long as you recognize it, Now that the tables have turned, it's now a bed. No, it's a desk. No, it's a chair. It's a recliner. It's a futon. The table can turn and become anything you want it to become if you know how to manipulate the environment. It's all about physics, people. We're manipulating the environment. All right. Thank you for letting us take 10 minutes of your day. Have a good day. Have a good life. Have a good night. I hope this information was beneficial. Goodbye.